Well, that was uncalled for. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst racist incidents in sports. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at episodes throughout sports history where someone showed prejudice to someone else based on their race. Keep in mind that these incidents aren't necessarily things that happened at a sporting event. If it happened within the world of sports, it will be considered. Number 10. Kelly Tilghman is suspended and Dave Seanor fired.
Lynch him in the back alley.
Lynching is no laughing matter, but Kelly Tilghman unfortunately needed a refresher on the subject. During a telecast, PGA anchor Nick Faldo joked about golfers ganging up on Tiger Woods. Playing along, Tilghman responded, quote, "Lynch him in the back alley." Faldo was clearly taken aback, as were Tilghman's superiors, who suspended her for 2 weeks. In response, Golf Week ran an article about the controversy, with that issue's cover depicting a hanging noose. This cover also caused controversy and resulted in the termination of the magazine's editor, Dave Seanor. Sadly, this wasn't even the first time Tiger Woods was the target of racism. Remember when Fuzzy Zeller said that Woods shouldn't serve fried chicken at the Masters dinner?
Pat him on the back, say congratulations, enjoy it, and tell him not to serve fried chicken next year. Got it. All right.
Number 9. Yuli Gurriel makes Asian eyes. Oops. Didn't mean for the cameras to pick that up, did ya? During Game 3 of the 2017 World Series, Houston Astros batter Yuli Gurriel hit a home run against Japanese pitcher Yu Darvish. After returning to the dugout, Gurriel mockingly stretched his eyes with his fingers and called Darvish a chinito, which means little Chinese boy in Spanish. As a result, Gurriel received a 5-game suspension for the 2018 season, although he was allowed to continue playing in the World Series.
He should have played this game. That wasn't a cool gesture, especially everybody watching.
In fact, Gurriel played against Darvish again during Game 7, where he tipped his helmet to the pitcher in a sign of respect and apology.
And Gurriel tips his helmet out toward Yu Darvish.
Number 8. Joel Ward's goal.
Canoodle a shot! Follow into the rebound, they score! It is Ward!
Some people take their hockey a bit too seriously. Black player Joel Ward scored the game-winning goal in Game 7 of the 2012 Eastern Conference quarterfinals against the Boston Bruins, eliminating the Bruins from the playoffs. As you can imagine, Boston fans were none too happy, and took to Twitter to publicly attack Ward, with many calling him the N-word. This caused many of Ward's defenders to publicly unveil the names and addresses of the racist posters.
He's a minor.
He's a minor,
So
correct.
there's nothing to say about the racist
He's
comments
not a
he
racist.
said?
He's not? Racist,
Does he
all
want to
right?
apologize to it,
He
though?
has apologized via the web. He has.
2 years later, Boston fans would do the exact same thing to Montreal Canadiens player PK Subban after he scored the game-winning goal in double overtime of Game 7 to end the Bruins season in the second round.
They win the draw. Barkov. Subban shoots. He scores!
Number 7. The Luis Suárez racial abuse incident.
Liverpool are privately admitting they mishandled the Luis Suárez racism affair.
The controversial Luis Suárez incident took place in 2011 at a game between Liverpool FC and Manchester United. During the game, Suarez fouled Manchester United Patrice Evra, which caused a confrontation. Evra then said that Suarez had used racial terms during the argument, a claim which Suarez immediately denied.
He's a disgrace to Liverpool Football Club. Some players should not be allowed to play for Liverpool again.
On December 20th, the Football Commission found Suarez guilty of using, quote, insulting words with a reference to Mr. Evra's color, and suspended him for 8 games. Liverpool and its fans defended Suarez, calling the commission's ruling subjective and Evra's account unsubstantiated. Suarez continues to deny the allegations to this day.
Se justificaron por algo que decía alguien, no por algo de que haya visto alguna prueba.
Number 6. Don Lewis tries to start an all-white basketball league.
Is this racist?
No.
In January 2010, a man named Don Moose Lewis tried to start the All-American Basketball Alliance. The AABA would contain all-white teams, and the players must be, quote, natural-born United States citizens.
It's not going to be, again, the street-type ball mentality and show. It's going to be different.
Clint Bryant, the athletic director of Augusta State University, summed it up when he said, quote, this gives you an idea of the sickness of our society. And NBA All-Star Charles Barkley said the very idea of the league was, quote, blatantly racist. Nothing ever came of the AABA, mostly because no city wanted anything to do with it.
It's just blatantly racist.
Number 5. Floyd Mayweather attacks Manny Pacquiao.
You fight 100 times, I'm gonna win 100 times. Manny Pacquiao he's not a better fighter than me.
After talks began about a possible Mayweather-Pacquiao bout, Floyd Mayweather took to Ustream to unleash a racist rant aimed at Filipino boxer Manny Pacquiao. In the video, he said, quote, I'll make that motherfucker make me a sushi roll and cook me some rice. And, quote, we're gonna cook that motherfucker with cats and dogs.
I'm gonna make that motherfucker make me a sushi roll and cook me some rice.
Mayweather was immediately condemned for his statements, causing him to apologize the very next day. He stated, quote, I don't have a racist bone in my body. I was just having fun. Nevertheless, the rant did not go over well with boxing fans.
I don't have a racist bone in my body. I love everybody.
Number 4. The Don Imus incident.
That's some nappy-headed hose there, I'm going to tell you that.
Radio host Don Imus is known for controversial statements. While discussing the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship, Imus laughed along with his producer and called the players, quote, some nappy-headed hoes. Public outrage was instantaneous, and Imus defended himself by declaring that the term originated within the black community and saying that it's his job to be funny, although he later said that he went too far. Several sponsors pulled themselves from Imus's radio show Imus in the Morning, and CBS Radio soon canceled the show entirely.
And I don't want anybody to think that that I'm trying to weasel out of these remarks or that this is some kind of excuse, because there isn't any excuse for what I said.
Number 3. Donald Sterling is banned for life.
I am banning Mr. Sterling for life from any association with the Clippers organization or the NBA.
Donald Sterling became the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers in 1981, but in April of 2014, he was permanently banned from the NBA due to racist remarks. Not suspended, not fired, banned. It all started when TMZ released a private phone conversation between Sterling and his mistress.
I'm not broadcasting anything.
Pictures with minorities. Why?
What's wrong with minorities?
The conversation begins with Sterling expressing disappointment that she took a picture with black ex-basketball player Magic Johnson, and it all snowballs from there. He then states, quote, it bothers me a lot that you want to broadcast that you're associating with black people, before asking her to not bring them to his team's basketball games.
The little I ask you is not to promote it on that and not to bring them to my games.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver banned Sterling from the NBA and fined him $2.5 million for the remarks.
We've found a way to make this the greatest game in the world, and for comments like that, it taints our game, and we can't have that.
Number 2. Jackie Robinson's career.
Porch monkey! Hey, know you can hear me.
Being an African American in the 1940s was not easy. Being the first black MLB player of the modern era was almost impossible. While Robinson is now deeply respected, that was not the case in 1947, when he started at first base for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Despite being showered with accolades, Robinson's life within the MLB was a struggle. Some of his own teammates objected to Robinson's inclusion by threatening to sit out if he played, and other teams threatened to strike. Robinson was similarly attacked on the field, with opposing players and managers physically assaulting him and calling him the N-word.
You don't belong here, Nick!
But despite all the abuse, Robinson kept playing, and playing well.
But he was a great man who died for our sins.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some dishonorable mentions.
Wang Zhu, whatever your name is, you want some of Shaq food? Come get it.
Number 1. The entire 1936 Summer Olympics. The 1936 Summer Olympics took place in Nazi Germany. Berlin won the hosting duties in 1931, but Hitler and his Nazis rose to power 2 years later, creating an Olympic atmosphere rife with racism and anti-Semitism. Hitler was optimistic that these games would prove his belief in Aryan racial superiority, and even tried to ban Jews and black athletes from competing in the games. However, he soon relented after other countries threatened to pull out. Despite this, Berlin was still covered in swastika banners, and the Nazi salute was a common sight in the city. World War II began 3 years later.
These weren't the Berlin Olympics. These were the Nazi Olympics.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.